story to tell. The Chinese aviation industry is having serious problems building engines for both civilian and fighter jets. Despite Beijing's pride in declaring an equal footing with the United States in the development of fifth-generation fighter jets. The heart of the plan is the problem that gives China too much headache. China can copy our weapons, but with jet engines, China has to give up. Because engines are extremely complex technologies. In the world, currently only the US and Russia are independent research and manufacturer of fighter engines. China is very successful in the weapon industry with a clever strategy, joint venture, learn from experience, and final, master technology. With the purchase of a stake in the Ukrainian company Motor Sich, China wants to own an aircraft engine manufacturer, but the deal failed. Exactly 10 years ago, China shocked the world with the successful flight of the Chengdu J-20 fighter in January 2011. The first flight of the first stealth fighter was successfully developed in China. And yet, in October 2012, the Zhejiang FC-31, China's second stealth fighter, conducted a test flight. Since then, there has been a lot of speculation about the FC-31. It is believed to be a future Chinese carrier-based fighter, similar to the US Navy's F-35C. However, China's stealth aircraft still has to fly with Russia's HERT, the jet engine. According to sources, only a single J-20 was tested with a Chinese-made WS-10B engine, and the rest were powered by AL-31FN engines, built by Russia's NPO Saturn. This is also the engine mounted on the Chengdu J-10, the Chinese pride. With economic and technological potential, China has devoted all efforts to develop aircraft engines. They built the WS-15 engine, but its design lagged behind the J-20 itself and lagged far behind the Russian and American engines. It was recently reported that the WS-15 engine struggled with a severe loss of thrust up to 25% as soon as it reached its critical operating temperature. According to the information, the durability of the WS-15 is very poor and unreliable. The People's Liberation Army Air Force also refused to fit these domestic engines on its fighters. China wishing to get rid of dependence, as usual, turned to ask for help from Russia. But the Russians only sell AL-31 engines if China continues to buy the Su-35. China has approached Ukraine, once the backbone of the Soviet aviation industry. Ukraine's Motor Sich aircraft engine maker has been in serious trouble since the Crimea crisis in 2014 due to the loss of its most important market, Russia. Some Chinese investors, including Beijing Skyrizon Aviation, want to buy Motor Sich and use Ukrainian know-how to develop engines for their aircraft. But the Ukrainian government announced to stop the deal. Instead of being in Chinese hands, Motor Sich is now nationalized. Aleksey Danilov, head of the National Defense and Security Council of Ukraine, said the company will be returned to the people of Ukraine. The reason Ukraine nationalized it because it was in a state of war and could not give up control of Motor Sich. In fact, the Ukrainians were not alone in deciding their interests, but mainly due to pressure from Washington. The Chinese company Skyrizon has long been blacklisted by the US Department of Defense, along with other Chinese companies. The United States, as well as Russia, were concerned that the sale of Motor Sich could spur China's engine development efforts. China's acquisition of Motor Sich has always been closely watched by Western and Russian intelligence, and it would be completely unhelpful for both the US and Russia if China could bridge this sizable gap in the aircraft engine industry. And America immediately, using its soft power, secretly thwarted the deal. This incident caused a wave of outrage in China. My video about the Chinese aviation industry ends here. Thank you for watching. If you find this video interesting, please give me your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. Goodbye and see you again in the next videos.